How's it going, guys? Zach Loftus from Loftus Outdoors here. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a review. With me, I got a rod and I got a reel here, which is one of my better combos that I have. And I thought I would go ahead and do a little bit of a review on it because that's how much I love it. Let's get into things here. With me, I'm going to have the Quantum Smoke Speed Freak. It's going to be in the 8.1 to 1 gear ratio with 35 inches per crank. Paired up with it, I'm going to have the Abu Garcia Veritas 2.0. This is going to be with the spiral carbon core technology, and it's going to be in the 7-foot medium heavy, and it's going to have 11 guides, including the tip. One of the really good things I like about this rod compared to the original Abu Garcia Veritas is it's going to have the click and reel seat. And the click and reel seat is going to allow you to really crank on your reel this way. It doesn't move when you're casting, you're setting the hook, or when any tension is put on the line. The reel doesn't jump or anything else. So it gives you a more solid reel seat on this, and overall it improves the way that the reel is because you don't have to worry about the knob getting loose or having to retighten it. It's always locked down and you don't need to worry about it. Overall, the Abu Garcia Veritas 2.0 is one of my favorite rods out there in the market. Retailing for about $100, or on sale you can probably find them anywhere from $60 to $80. This one I happened to pick up for $65 from one of my buddies of mine who bought it. He said he didn't like it. He wanted to get a bigger rod, and personally, I love it. Let's get a little bit into the reel. The Quantum Smoke Speed Freak is going to have 25 pounds of max drag on it, and it's going to have 35 inches per crank. Now that 35 inches per crank is going to allow you to pick up any slack that you may have in your line whatsoever, and in my opinion, that's one of the key features that this reel has. Comparing it to a 7.1 gear ratio, it's kind of hard to compare. I mean, 7.1 gear ratio compared to an 8.1 gear ratio, there's a big difference. Even though it's only 6 or 7 inches, you have to figure that you're cranking in that handle, and if it turns 20 times in your retrieve, you got to think about it. 6 inches times 2 is going to be a foot. Okay, so you're going to do 20 divided by 2. That's 10 more feet of line that you would still have to be cranking in if you had a 7.1 gear ratio. And one of the benefits of this is if you're on a boat or you're in a tournament and you're looking to keep the fish as live as possible, I know that's something that I stress out about because you never want to have a dead bass in the boat. And what this does is it lets the bass come in faster, and it's going to prevent it from building up lactic acid in its muscles, which is potentially going to be life-threatening to the fish. And when you go to upon release it, if you're sitting there and you're going to be fighting it for a long time, it decreases the chance of its survival rate. But getting a little bit more back into the rod, the Abu Garcia Veritas 2.0 is going to have the Texas Rig Worm Keeper on it. That's going to allow you this way, if you have your hook buried inside of a bait when you're flipping or pitching, you don't have to worry about taking the hook out to put it on. All you have to do is slide it right underneath and it's already set up. Now what the spiral core technology does is that enables the rod to be more sensitive and a lot stronger than it was before. That's one of the key features that I personally like about the Abu Garcia Veritas 2.0 instead of the Abu Garcia Veritas, the original one. Overall, the Quantum Smoke Speed Freak and the Abu Garcia Veritas rod and reel combo that I did it's going to be really efficient. It's going to be really light. You really don't notice you're holding the rod in your hand, but at the same time, it's like these two are meant for each other. It's like the holy grail of bait casting and bait casting rods. Overall, if I was to give this out of a 5-star rating, it'd probably be about a 4.6 or a 4.7. And the only reason why it wouldn't be about a 5.0 is because the only problem that I had with the Abu Garcia Veritas, and this isn't the rod itself, it just has to do with the stiffness of it. Since I'm doing heavy cover, I'd rather have the heavy action rod because the Abu Garcia Veritas 2.0 does have a little bit of bend into it, and the backbone on it does bend a little bit once you're getting down to the lowest guide on it. That's the only thing that I have to say about it. But other than that, the rod itself is going to be great. The good thing about this, the Quantum Smoke Speed Freak 8.1 gear ratio, is it's going to have 11 ball bearings in it. The reel overall is going to last longer, and it's going to allow you to cast a lot smoother. And it's going to have the ACS braking system, and then it's going to have the internal braking system on it. But overall, it's a great combo. One of the key features about the reel, I haven't said anything yet. One of the key features about the reel is going to be the EVA foam knobs on it. If you've seen any of my other videos, I'm not a big fan of the plastic knobs. The plastic knobs, if you're out fishing and it's foggy or it's moist outside and your fingers get wet or the reel gets wet, which will happen, if you try and set the hook on a bass or you're trying to crank it in real hard, your fingers may slip off of them. What that EVA allows you to get a little bit more of a grip on them. But that's just my opinion on this rod and this reel. If you have any other comments on it or you'd like to suggest topics for future videos, hit it down in the comment section down below.